Hello students, welcome to another session of factorization which will continue from the previous one. This is factorization of type 4, that is quadratic expression. I hope you understood group factorization, which will be one of the most important uh, strategy for factorizing quadratic expressions. Now, any quadratic expression is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, this is in the form of a sum. So, if you want to write it in the factorized form, first what we do is we look at the coefficient of x squared and look at the constant term. And what we do is we multiply them and a multiplied by c and we let it to be p. P is nothing but the product. Is that okay? So, this will be the first step and the second step would be B and we represent it as S. So, I hope you understood this strategy. It is simply that we take the coefficient of x squared and c and write it as a product and the coefficient of x to be the sum. Now, what we need to do is we need to find out two numbers. We need to find two numbers such that, let's say the two numbers are x1 and x2. We need to find such that x1 multiplied by x2 will give you the product and x1 plus x2 will give you the sum. So this is the important strategy which will be applying. The first one is you find out what is the product. That means it is coefficient of x squared minus the constant. The sum, which is the middle term, which is s, and then we need to find two numbers such that x1 multiplied by x2 is the product and x1 plus x2 is the sum. So it should solve simultaneously. Alright. Now let's look at the first question. So if I look at the first question, which is nothing but a quadratic factorization, x squared plus 7x plus 10. So what I'm going to do is I am going to find out what are the coefficients. So you will see if there is no coefficient, it is nothing but 1. Alright. So my a is equal to 1. B is equal to 7 and C is equal to 10. So, based on this, my product or which we represent by P will be nothing but 1 multiplied by 10, right? This one. So, it's 1 times 10, which is nothing but 10, and the sum is now 7. Now, I need to identify two numbers. When you multiply, you get 10, but when you add, you get 7. So, the factors of 10 is 1 times 10, but this will not work because this is okay. 1 times 10 is 10. Alright, that part is okay, but 1 plus 10 will give you 11, and we don't have 11, we need a 7. So, this does not work out, and these two cannot be the numbers. So what I'm going to do is I am going to think of another set of factors which is going to be 5 and 2. So yes, so now you see 5 times 2 it becomes 10 and 5 plus 2 is nothing but 7. Alright, so my two factors are 5 and 2. Okay, so this job after it is done, what I'm going to do is I am going to write the first term x squared and this 7x I'm going to break up as 5x plus 2x plus 10. So this is a very important strategy. And once you do this, what happens is you can group factorize this, which is nothing but x multiplied by x plus 5 plus 2 multiplied by x plus 5. So this is group factorization, which is x plus 5 times x plus 2. Alright, so basically this job has been done. Now, once you identify this, you will see that later on there could be a complicated questions, but it becomes very simple if you understand the strategy. Let's look at 2. I have a square, I have the same coefficient 7 and 10. Only thing is my x has been replaced by x minus 3. So let's see how I am going to tackle this question, which is very similar to this. Alright, so let's look at question 2. This was question 1. So that is x minus 3 the whole square plus 7 multiplied by x minus 3 plus 10. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a simple replacement. That is, I am going to consider this x minus 3. I am going to replace it by another variable t. So basically this becomes t squared plus 7t plus 10. And when I do this, I see that this question and this is very similar. So basically, I have the same factors, which is nothing but t plus 5 multiplied by t plus 2, which is this x plus 5 into x plus 2. Alright. Now, what I need, but my question is in terms of x. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back and replace again my t's by x minus 3. So this becomes x minus 3. This will become x minus 3. And of course, this bit is nothing but plus 5 and plus 2. Alright. So we need to do a simple simplification, which happens is x minus 3 plus 5 is plus 2 and x minus 1. And your job is done. I hope this is clear. So students, when you look at your textbook, you will see at the end of the question, you will have questions like this. But it's very simple. Just use a simple substitution and you can get the quadratic equation. Alright, let's look at another example. Look at this, r squared minus 3r minus 40. Alright, so basically, let's look at this strategy. R squared minus 3r minus 40. So I told you what's your P? 1. 1 minus 40 is negative 40 and your S is negative 3. So what are the two numbers when you multiply you get? I know I can get the factors 8 and 5, but you need to be very careful in attaching the signs. I need a negative 3, so this should be negative and this should be positive. Alright, so minus 8 times 5 is negative 40, minus 8 plus 5 is minus 3. And your job is done. So now basically I'm going to split up minus 3r is minus 8r plus 5r. Is that okay? So that is the main step, r squared minus plus, and you have the minus 40. Now what you do is take out the r. So I have r bracket r minus 8 plus 5 into r minus 8. So by group factorization, I have factorized. So in quadratic factorization, students, remember that this is your main step, first step. Once you get this part of splitting, you can easily factorize. Alright, now let's look at this strategy. So basically, I see it's the same thing again, but only my r is replaced by r plus 5. So I'm going to use a simple substitution. I'm going to say let r plus 5 is equal to t. Alright, so I get t squared, t squared minus 3t minus 40. All right. So I can use the same factors, which is as the same thing, which is nothing but t minus 8 into t plus 5. Right. These factors are the same. But only thing is it's been replaced by t. All right. But your question is in terms of r, so I will replace the t by r plus 5. So r plus 5 minus 8 bracket r plus 5 minus plus 5. So I get r minus 3 bracket r plus 10. And your job is done. So students, I hope you have understood how to factorize quadratic equations. Alright. This is quadratic factorization and this will later on help you to solve quadratic equations. Alright, let's look at the last question. Now, when you do quadratic factorization, always remember that you need to rewrite. Look at this question. It's totally not in the format ax squared plus bx plus c. So you need to first rearrange this or rewrite as 6x squared minus x minus 15. So it has to be in the format ax squared plus c. And then we do the same thing. Now here your p is 6 multiplied by negative 15, which is negative 90, and s is minus 1. So what are my factors? So 10 times 9, which is very easy, but I need a negative sign. So obviously this becomes negative and this becomes positive. So this is 6x squared and I could split my negative x as minus 10x plus 9x minus 15. Alright. So if I factorize, 2 is the common factor, 2x. So I get 3x minus 5 plus, here 3 is a common factor, I will get 3x minus 5. So basically this is nothing but 2x plus 3 bracket 3x minus 5. Now, if I look at the second part, I see that all my x has been replaced by x minus 2. So let x minus 2 is equal to t, and after rearranging I would get 6t squared minus t minus 15. So my product is nothing but same thing, negative 90 and negative 1, which holds the same, but only these factors replace it by 2t plus 3 bracket 3t minus 5. Alright, but you have to replace, since your question is in terms of x, this becomes 2x minus 2 plus 3 bracket 3x minus 2 minus 5. So if I simplify, I get 2x negative 4 plus 3. Alright, and this one would become 3x minus 6 minus 5. Or in other words, this is 2x minus 1 bracket 3x minus 11. Alright. So basically, I see that this is a very important part of quadratic factorization. So you can just see here I did get 2, here I did get 3, and I have the factors, and you could just check the calculations, and yes, you will see that you have the right question. Alright. Hopefully this is okay for you. Stay tuned for another session, students. And you may try out any questions. If you have any comments or feedback or you want another type of, please do comment and I will see how I could address that question. Please do not forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.